Right now at 6, a big discovery at the bottom of the Columbia River that could help solve a decades-old cold case.
I'm really hoping that the survivors of this, the people involved, the Martins, can have some closure.
And another Oregon Tesla dealership targeted, where employees showed up this morning to find bullet holes and shattered glass. Plus, a KGW investigation into a string of thefts at dental offices that follow a similar pattern.
It seems like they knew what they're doing and where the break room was.
Then, a local custard shop banking on a federal grant finds itself frozen out.
As a small business, it can be, pretty disheartening.
How the community is kicking in to keep the custard flowing. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We begin here at 6 with a major break in a cold case from nearly 70 years ago. A Portland family went missing after a road trip to the gorge, and now it appears their car has been found at the bottom of the river. The case was one of the biggest stories KGW covered back in 1958, and this is the first major clue in years. Our Celine Stevens is live in Cascade Locks, where recovery teams have spent the day trying to pull that car out of the river. Celine, where do things stand now?
Christine, the Hood River County Sheriff's Office says that they were not able to retrieve the car today due to significant debris, but they'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. to continue trying. Now, this was all discovered by an independent diver who found that car under the river floor, and after he was trying for years to try and figure out what happened to the Martin family who went missing back in 1958.
This is the day that we've all dreamed about, and I'm really hoping that the survivors of this, the people involved, the Martins, can have some closure.
December 1958 is when the Martin family was reported missing after heading to the gorge for an outing.
On December the 7th, the Martin family left Portland to pick up some greenery for their Christmas. The last known place, now that we know, was Cascade Locks, where they bought 5 gallons of gas.
The family, consisting of Kenneth and Barbara Martin and their 3 daughters. The bodies of the 2 younger girls were found in the Columbia River in 1959. But in 2018, independent diver Archer Mayo started working on the case and found the car late last year. He says the journey wasn't easy.
When I first saw the car, I saw a tire, and the car's upside down. So we're talking about 50 feet under the surface of the water, 7 feet under the ground.
He says the journey wasn't easy.
Because it's been a 7-year adventure with just a ton of, I've almost died 3 different times in this canal.
Authorities also say they are prepared for the possibility of finding the rest of the family's remains inside.
We have everything here in place in the event that there are human remains. And so we're treating it like, okay, we may have some human remains and we need to be ready for that.
Now, all that's left to do is wait.
Finding the car, that was really a moment of understanding that no one else witnessed the tragedy of these 3 little girls and their parents drowning, dying, and this car represents that witness. So that was very emotional for me, a lot more than I even expected.
The Hood River County Sheriff's Office says that they will be working to determine what happened to the family, but they say there's a good chance that they'll simply never know. And it's also worth noting that there are 2 other cars that are underneath the water, and in fact that crane was able to retrieve the frame from one of those cars. Authorities say that they're going to be working to pull all 3 vehicles out from the river. Christine?
Hoping they find answers. Again, reporting from Cascade Locks. Thank you so much, Celine. The mystery surrounding the Martin family captivated our viewers when it happened. In fact, we dug out video from the KGW archives today and will stream it tonight on our TV app, KGW+. You can watch our 1958 documentary on the Martin family tonight at 8 p.m. That documentary was produced just 2 years after KGW first went on the air. Also tonight on KGW+, you can catch the story at 8:30. Killer Cases at 9, and KGW News live at 11 p.m. Again, that is all on our free TV app, KGW+. In your headlines now, another Oregon Tesla dealership vandalized, this time in Tigard. This morning, employees found shattered windows and bullet holes in walls, offices, and cars. Tigard police say the shooting happened around 1:45 a.m. and at least 7 shots were fired. But they're not sure how many people may have been involved, and they have not released any suspect descriptions. This afternoon, a group of protesters gathered in front of the dealership to protest Tesla CEO Elon Musk's controversial role in the Trump administration. And a Multnomah County Sheriff's deputy is recovering after a suspected drunk driver crashed into his patrol car. It happened around 9:30 last night on eastbound I-84 near Cesar Chavez. The deputy had pulled someone over on the shoulder and was still in his car when an SUV slammed into the deputy's car from behind. The deputy and SUV driver were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. After he was discharged, 49-year-old Jose Alvarez from Beaverton was arrested and charged with DUII. Back in Portland, City Council has agreed to settle a lawsuit from a group of 9 journalists and legal observers who were injured by police in the 2020 protests. The ACLU of Oregon filed the case against the city that summer. They claimed their First Amendment rights were violated when Portland police officers assaulted them with batons and tear gas, arrested them without cause, and seized their equipment. City attorneys advised the city to settle. Council approved the more than $900,000 settlement yesterday. Portland police must also maintain court-ordered protection for journalists and legal observers in its policy manual through the end of 2028. Matt?
All right, Christine, thank you very much. It was a beautiful day around the Northwest. Lots of sunshine. Sun has gone down now, but the clear sky remains. Reserve Golf Course, temperatures dropping pretty quickly. It's down to 51 already. Out at the coast, some clouds lingering in Lincoln City at 48 degrees there. It was cold this morning. I mean, look at Troutdale. Dropped all the way down to 29. Portland 36, Hillsborough 33. Certainly cold enough for frost. And even out the Oregon coast, we had temperatures below freezing at both Tillamook and up at Hoquiam. So, yes, the afternoons are great, but those mornings are a little bit chilly, which got me thinking about the growing season. A lot of people starting to think about their gardens with the warm weather we've been having lately. And if we look at the Northwest, our average date of our last freeze west of the Cascades is in early April. So we're not quite there yet. We got about another month before it's safe to get those plants out there that are sensitive to really cold temperatures. Our average date of our last frost, keep in mind this is freeze, the last frost can be later in April, like the middle of April. So just keep that in mind as you are planning your gardens and your garden activities. Now, our low this morning was 36, and that's actually cold enough to get frost at 36, even though the air temperature is above freezing, where we measure at about 5 feet down to the ground. It can be colder, and that's why you can get frost. Our rainfall is now below average by over ½ an inch in Portland, and tomorrow, another beautiful day. Chilly in the morning, 35, but sunny and in the upper 50s. We'll get even warmer this weekend, Christine. I'll have that for you in a bit. Back to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Matt. The dentist. It is an unlikely place for theft, right? But dental offices around the Portland area are warning about a pair of women rummaging through break rooms, stealing employee wallets, credit cards, and cash. KGW investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi is here now. Kyle, some people are calling them the break room bandits.
Yes, and we've identified at least 6 different dental offices and businesses targeted by 2 women over the past couple of weeks. So far, police have made no arrest, and the break room bandits have not been publicly identified.
Watch closely as 2 women walk into a Beaverton dental office. They claim to be customers, but they're not. Employees say these are the break room bandits who've hit at least 6 different dental offices and businesses in the Portland area over the past 2 weeks, stealing employee wallets, credit cards, and cash.
I looked at my camera and I was able to get the pictures.
On February 26th, a security camera spotted the 2 women at Tigard City Dental. Employees say one of them stood at the front desk to schedule an appointment, while the other walked to the back of the office.
It seems like they knew what they're doing and where the break room was.
It was later discovered that an employee's wallet was missing out of her purse. Several large purchases were made at a nearby Lowe's and Target using the stolen credit cards, according to workers.
We were just kind of angry that this happened, feeling violated.
Later that day, employees at Smiles Northwest said the same 2 women visited their dental office in Cedar Hills.
It sounds like they have a ring of people that are working together, and they know they have a limited amount of time to kind of grab and go.
The women followed a similar routine. One of them tried to schedule an appointment, while the other wandered toward the back of the office pretending to look for a restroom.
There was no question where the restroom was from her. It was just, she didn't ask that, which typically patients do.
The women were only inside the dental office for a few minutes, but managed to steal personal items from 2 employees whose belongings were stored in the break room.
Just knowing that people have your information, and you don't know who they are, it's very unsettling.
Just to know that they're out there going, talking with other offices last week, hearing they were spending thousands of dollars on people's accounts and then throwing their wallets away. It's very frustrating that they can just get in there and do that.
The duo also hit a boutique in Canby. The owner says they stole credit cards and cash from the back office while employees were helping customers. Images from store security show the women wore surgical masks and one appeared to be in medical scrubs. So far, these 2 have not been publicly identified. They've rung up big bills after rummaging through break rooms, stealing employee wallets and credit cards.
Similar cases involving theft from office break rooms have been reported previously in Oregon and elsewhere around the country. It's not clear if these incidents are related. Best advice, if you work in any office setting, lock up or hide your valuables.
Yeah, for sure, some good advice there. Kyle Laboshi reporting. Thank you, Kyle.